The sports director has just stunned the entire NFL with a master plan that no one saw coming. But could it have devastating consequences? What's happening in the backfield could ruin everything. While one of the most respected analysts applauds the strategy, there are hidden details that could define the franchise's future. We'll reveal the whole truth about the decision shaping Chicago's destiny, information you won't find anywhere else. This might be the last chance to understand what's really happening before it's too late. Now, let's dive right into this news bombshell that's shaking the foundations of Soldier Field. The 2025 draft just concluded and critics are pouring in. But let me tell you something. What's happening with the Chicago Bears goes well beyond mere draft picks. Mel Kiper Jr., one of ESPN's most respected analysts, has just dropped a bombshell by giving the Bears draft a B+ grade. Why does this matter so much? Because no one expected Poles to pick a tight end in the first round. No one. Everyone was talking left tackle, edge rusher, or running back. But Poles had other plans. You know what he did? He went straight for Colston Loveland in the first round, a tight end who can stretch the field and who had 9 touchdowns in the past 2 seasons. And in the second round, Luther Burden III, an explosive receiver who's a beast after catching the ball. And this is no coincidence, folks. The new coach Ben Johnson comes from Detroit, where he made extensive use of Sam Laporta in the passing game. Now he'll have Loveland and Cole Kmet in position. Can you imagine formations with 2 tight ends who can threaten in the air game? It's a nightmare for any defense. Sure, many would have preferred Ashton Jeanty to drop to pick number 10 to strengthen the ground game. Others thought Tyler Warren was the best tight end in this class. But Poles had a clear vision to give Williams ALL possible tools. Ozzie Trapelo in the second round could see action as a left tackle, especially with Braxton Jones recovering from an ankle injury. This young guy has the size, experience, and technique to develop in a crucial position. I think this strategy makes perfect sense. Why? Because we're building around Caleb Williams. We're giving him all the weapons possible to succeed. He already has DJ Moore and Romo Duns, and now we add Loveland and Burden. This is building a first-class arsenal. But there's something that worries me greatly, and I have to say it. The Bears' backfield isn't an alarming situation. Kyle Monangai in the 7th round is the only running back we picked. Is it enough? I tell you this without hesitation. Absolutely not. Don't come at me with the story of undrafted free agents. I'm not buying it, and neither should you. It's impossible that they let 6 whole rounds pass to settle for Monangai, despite never fumbling in 676 carries. At least in the edge rusher position. There's the possibility of moving one of their defensive tackles outside in passing situations, maybe Gervin Dexter, or perhaps the rookie Shemar Turner, who was actually an edge that moved inside during his last season at Texas A&M. But at running back, what do we have? D'Andre Swift, Roshan Johnson, Travis Homer, Ian Wheeler, and now Monangai. Does this sound like an elite backfield to you? Absolutely not. This is not a running back room worthy of the offense Ben Johnson is building. There's no runner who can break tackles consistently. Swift only broke 7 tackles last year. 7. And only once in his career has he reached double digits in this statistic. That was in Philadelphia with 21, and they let him go without batting an eye dot in Detroit. Johnson had David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jamal Williams. Gibbs and Montgomery broke about 20 tackles each in the last 2 seasons. Meanwhile, Roshan Johnson has barely broken 3 tackles in 2 seasons. 3. Ryan Poles had his draft board for the last 3 days and didn't deviate from it even as the running backs kept disappearing with each new round. First the Ohio State duo, then Cam Scott-Tabo and Basil Tootin, and finally Damian Martinez and Brashard Smith. I ask you, do you think Ben Johnson is biting his tongue when talking about the draft at the running back position? Because he comes from Detroit, where he had Montgomery and Gibbs, running backs that broke about 20 tackles. Per season. What options do we have left? We could go for Jamal Williams at 30 years old, maybe Nick Chubb or J.K. Dobbins, both with injury histories. Or maybe, just maybe, Johnson has a magical plan we don't know about yet. Sometimes it gets tough, Johnson said. Sometimes you want to pick by need, but we didn't necessarily do that. I feel very good about the direction we took and every decision we made along the way. Either there are magical secrets in the Bears running back room yet to be revealed to us, or Johnson is really a miracle worker with his offense. Or maybe he's just very good at holding his tongue for 3 days. But here comes the most fascinating thing about this draft. Ryan Poles just gave a masterclass on how to handle the NFL draft. And he did it by doing exactly what fans always ask for: sticking to his board and trading down to acquire more picks. First thing Poles demonstrated is that there is a huge difference between the best player available and favorite player available. Loveland was his target, and he got him with the 10th pick. Many expected Ginty, but the reality is that he probably was never a real option, and the cost would have been too high to achieve other goals. Then, Luther Burden III was available. In the second round, a receiver with a first-round grade according to many analysts. Burden was significantly ahead of Treveon Henderson in Daniel Jeremier's top 50 list, was number 27 on Dane Brugler's list, and received a first-round grade from many outlets. But the most impressive thing was how Poles traded picks. Instead of selecting at number 41, where he could have chosen an edge rusher or one of the last target running backs, he accepted a trade with a slight loss that landed them at number 50. Was Poles too clever for his own good? Was Chicago ambushed as a result? He sacrificed number 41 to move down to 56 and select Ozzie Trapelo, a tackle with the ideal length and experience against high-level competition. Of the 38 collegiate tackles drafted in the second round from 2011 to 2020, only 11 became regular starters at the position. Those 11 shared traits like extended playing time in college and arm length, with a minimum of 33.13-inch arms. That describes Trapelo's profile. And from there, each subsequent pick was moved up thanks to his strategic maneuvers. Before the end of the draft's second day, Poles had added to the defensive line a draft strength at position number 62 with the 56th player on Brugler's list. Multiple trades later, Poles had turned his last 3 picks, 109, 148, and 233, into a linebacker, a cornerback, an interior offensive lineman, and finally a running back plus a future selection. In terms of trade value, Poles gained approximately 16 points on Jimmy Johnson's chart, or roughly the value of a 6th-round pick. I believe this is the type of planning that builds winning franchises. Poles not only added players in this draft, but also secured an additional 4th-round pick for 2026. That's thinking long-term. I ask you, what do you prefer? A general manager who selects based on immediate needs, or one who systematically builds a balanced roster while maximizing the value of each pick? The answer should be obvious. Ryan Poles is building something special in Chicago. He's neither following fans' whims nor media pressure. He's following a meticulously designed plan. But will it be enough? That is the big question we face. With a questionable backfield and without having selected an edge rusher, can we compete at the highest level? I have my clear opinion on this. The Bears' success in 2025 will rely almost exclusively on Caleb Williams' development. If he becomes the quarterback we all expect, these additional offensive weapons will make him shine. If he stumbles, we'll all question why we didn't strengthen other positions. What is undeniable is that Poles prioritized offense and came away with 2 first-round graded offensive weapons. At the cost of settling with a developing offensive tackle over another, he ended up moving ahead the rest of his draft and still gained an additional pick in this draft and the next. Whatever criticisms we may have had of Poles in the past, we can only tip our hats with awe and respect for how well he maneuvered through the 2025 draft. We may not agree with every selection he made, but he absolutely made those selections on his own timetable and in a way that made more players available to him at each point, not less. What do you think about Pohl's decisions in this draft? Was it a hit to prioritize Loveland over an edge rusher or a running back? Should we be worried about our backfield? I'd love to read your comments and continue this conversation. Before I sign off, I have a burning question for you. Do you believe Kyle Monangai, the running back who has never lost a fumble in 676 carries, can be the surprise of the season? Or do we urgently need to sign a veteran like Nick Chubb? If you enjoyed this deep analysis of the Bears draft, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Every week we bring exclusive content you won't find anywhere else. Also, leave your opinions in the comments. I personally commit to reading each one of them. This community of Bears fans is like a family, and your participation is what makes it special. Share this video so it reaches more fans, and let's build the best Chicago Bears community on the internet together. See you in the next video with more exclusive analysis and impacting news. Bear down.